and gentlemen, in just the next 120 seconds, we'll get you the first number up on the screen. Which way this election is going to go? Will it be a hat-trick for Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Will Rahul Gandhi and team of the India Alliance be able to stop him in his tracks? Which side are you on? Choose your side, choose your chair, sit comfortably, because over the next 4 hours, we will give you state-by-state breakup of election results as we see it through our exit polls with ETG Research, which is our pollster. Our resident cephalogist Jay Mrug continues to be with us, and we'll get you the best debates, we'll get you the top leaders, all of that right here on Times Now. But just before we get the first numbers of the exit poll on our screens, going across to Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. And Madhav, can you take us through the projections that have been given by some of the brokerage houses, some of the cephalogists, because any numbers are numbers that we want to look at that will give us a preview of what's about to come in the exit polls.
Well, absolutely, Navika. In fact, this is what some of the analysts are saying. This is Ian Bremmer, political analyst. His number is 305. We're also talking about the next number, which is coming in from Prashant Kishore, political strategist. His number as at 303. Now, this is as per the various reports that have been coming in. Yogendra Yadav, political analyst, at one time a full-time number cruncher, then turned, of course, into a politician. His number is about 240, 260. Surjit Bhalla, economist, has given a number of 330 to the BJP. We've seen Sanjay Kumar of the CSDS Lokniti give a number of 272. So a clear majority here for the BJP as well. JM Financial, a brokerage house, has given a number of 290. Another brokerage house we're talking about, Phillip Capital, has given a number of 290. And of course, after this is the IIFL, which is also a brokerage house, which is at 320. The last brokerage house that we're talking about is Bernstein, which has given a number of 330 for the BJP. So, Navika, by and large, as far as this list is concerned,
well, and it's time for the numbers. Our sample size tonight is 4,25,000, and it's a large sample size. We've done door-to-door surveys with ETG Research, and the first numbers coming up on your screens. And Padmaja, Kerala numbers coming up on the screens. Before we go to Kerala numbers, this is our sample size for 1,25,763, and door-to-door surveys once again plus
and per
minus
Lok Sabha seat, we've taken 700 to 800 samples. So this is a large sample size. Let's go straight, like you said, Navika, to the Kerala numbers. Very, very high-profile state, and incidentally one where two major constituents of INDIA are fighting each other. The LDF versus the UDF.
And those are the numbers. UDF, which is the Congress Party's alliance with the Muslim League, 14 to 15 out of 20 seats. LDF likely to get 4 seats, wiped out there. BJP will open its account in Kerala. 1 seat to the BJP, others 0. And what we are being told is this is the Thrissur seat, which is going the BJP's way. LDF 14 to 15 going to the UDF. And tell us more about one contestant.
I think this is the Suresh Gopi seat, right? This is Suresh Gopi. It does, and that and Anil Antony, because Pathanamthitta was the other high-profile seat. It seems that both Thiruvananthapuram, Shashi Tharoor is going to win that, and Pathanamthitta also Anil Antony is going to lose.
And Wayanad, well, I think out of the 14-15, Wayanad, Rahul Gandhi will be safe in Wayanad, and
which means
maybe
India Alliance gets 19. India, because left is a part of the India Alliance, so they get 19.
But you are fighting in Kerala.
No,
okay, but India Alliance will
over
get
there.
19.
Okay, so 19, yes, India Alliance will get 19, whether they fight together or not. But joining us is Annie Raja. Annie Raja, you contested from Wayanad. Looks like it's going Rahul Gandhi's way. How would you look at Kerala? 14 to 15 seats to the UDF. The left parties get just about 4 to 5 seats.
Good evening to all of you. Actually, I have just seen the projections which you are just showing, and I am not ready to accept that because the left will have better numbers in Kerala this time. That is for sure.
Ma'am, what do you make of the fact that the Congress says you have a secret pact with the BJP? One doesn't quite understand that even as we speak, today we had a meeting of INDI in Delhi. All of you there were together against the BJP, but in Wayanad, in Kerala, Rahul Gandhi goes again and again and says, you have a secret understanding with the RSS BJP.
Sorry, I can't hear you. At the last part, I didn't get you.
That in Delhi, the left and Congress sit together and attack Mr. Modi, but in Kerala and in Wayanad, Rahul Gandhi comes and says that you and your party have a secret understanding with Mr. Modi and the BJP.
No, I don't know. But here, at the very beginning of India Alliance formation, it was well discussed and accepted by all the parties and partners of India Alliance that in Kerala, the existing formations, that is LDF versus UDF, that mechanism will remain. This was an accepted formula by all the India Alliance partners. So beyond that, I have nothing to say. This is accepted. This is the formula which was accepted, discussed and accepted at the initial formation of India Alliance. So I stand with that only. I don't know the other.
All right, Annie Raja, let's look at the vote shares. We've seen, can we go back to the numbers and the vote shares here? 46% is the vote share, 32% for LDF, UDF at 46%, BJP going up with its alliance, which is BDG.
The BJP is the only gainer in terms of vote share. No, yes, no, and I'll qualify this more also, though this is not my poll. This is the only gainer. There are about 4 catchment seats that the BJP has gained in. I'll list them out. Thiruvananthapuram, Attingal, which is a suburb of Thiruvananthapuram, Patnamthitta and Thrissur. BJP is also pulled up in Palakkad.
There's nowhere.
Other phenomenon of Kerala is that the BJP traditionally, other than 4 or 5 seats, used to forfeit its deposit. Right now, the BJP is crossing the threshold and going to 18, 17, 19% everywhere.
Well, so look at this. I think this is the important number to look at, which is the vote share, 18%.
I want to say one thing to you. If you give so much importance to vote share gains for the BJP, you must also check out in Haryana and all what is happening.
Of course it will be.
I'm just making that point.
Where in the south, everybody was writing off the BJP is not going to get it. Anand Ranganathan, 18% vote share in Kerala, a state where for the first time they are getting 1 seat in parliament. You know, this would be seen as a great performance by the BJP.
Not only that, and I'm not going to preempt you, Navika, but the vote share of Tamil Nadu is out, and I don't want to say it, but I think the Prime Minister read the tea leaves very properly this time round.
Absolutely. And in
Kerala, if the vote percentage increases by each 1%, from 18 if it goes to 20, BJP will score 3. Yeah. At 18 it is 1. At 19 it is 2. Because as Jay said, that 5 seats plus Alapura, 6 seats, they're going to get bulk of votes, more than 25%.
Don't discount Rajiv.
So don't
discount Rajiv.
It's a very close contest in Thiruvananthapuram as well, we are being told, and that is something we'll have to look out for. But as of now, 14 to 15 seats to the Congress alliance, the UDF in Kerala, 4 to the LDF. BJP gets 1 seat. 0 to the others, and the vote percentage for the BJP goes up to 18%. Let's go to the next state coming up, Jammu and Kashmir. Let's look at the numbers on Jammu and Kashmir. BJP likely to get 2 seats, Congress 2 to 3 seats. This is the alliance, so this will include the National Conference. That's the alliance over here. PDP is gone separate.
That's separate. Ladakh.
That's separate.
Yeah. That's it.
Separate.
That's separate. That will come in the union territories.
Okay.
BJP at 2, Congress and National National Conference at 2 to 3, and PDP at 0 to 1. Let's take a look at the vote shares as well. And vote shares here are 24% for the BJP, 41% for Congress and National Conference, PDP at 21%, and others get 14%. These are the percentages.
Jammu and Udhampur. Jammu Udhampur, which they hold anyway. So
you have to understand its others numbers also. This others numbers is actually BJP's foray into the valley. This is JK Apni Party, which is pulling votes in Anantnag, Rajouri, Lok Sabha. This is that. This is that.
This is the others.
Yeah, this is
Tushar, if you look at these numbers in Jammu and Kashmir, BJP holds on to the 2 traditional seats that it has, but the 14% of the others, friendly parties of the BJP, do you think, story is upwards or any positives for the BJP, or is it as is?
I think Jammu and Kashmir is pretty much on expected lines. I think the Congress would not have expected anything different. The BJP would not have expected anything different. If you're talking about the seats that the BJP is fighting in Kashmir, the truth will be in the vote share on the final day. But what impresses me the most, I wanted to make that point about Kerala. 6% vote share it had in 2009, 10% in 2014, 13% in 2019, probably 18% now. This is the Modi factor working in Kerala.
And another headline about Kerala, another headline. Whatever the NDA has gained in Kerala has primarily come at the cost of the LDF.
Correct.
It is actually cannibalization. The LDF is on its last leg if the NDA grows beyond this.
And if I may...
Also the Congress actually.
Yeah, it works
the more
for the Congress.
BJP gets powerful, the Congress will win more.
While the left...
Temporarily.
That's it. In the long run, it's going to hurt
the
Congress.
left parties are, West Bengal was their earlier traditional stronghold. Now being routed in Kerala, the allegations against the government in Kerala probably taking its toll, which is why the Congress party, and rightly so, did not ally with them, because anti-incumbency would have come to the Congress party.
Navika, let me just kind of calm down certain very optimistic elements here. Yes, the BJP has increased its vote share, but in a parliamentary or any election, if you can't convert that into seats, to expect that everybody is going to be motivated at the cadre level for another 5 years is being rather, I think, facile, because they are not winning seats. And over a period of time, the vote shares may come down. The vote shares may come down.
Says Sanjay Jha, who's lived on moral victories for the last how many years? 10 years.
Look,
Sanjay Jha, moral victories.
One simple point.
BJP's vote share won't come down.
Look,
You have to realize...
Just one second. Kerala and Tamil Nadu are 2 states BJP wasn't expected to do well. One man actually did believe in it, the Prime Minister. And outside of the Hindi heartland, he stood there most apart from elections. Look, if this vote percentage goes up, you got to give the man credit. He's gone there, he had nothing to gain. And yet he's gone there and fought. You got to give him to credit.
If this was a referendum on Article 370, they've gone with it. They've not lost their traditional strongholds, number one. And number two, in the valley, it will still take the BJP time to grow roots and get some.
If I may, Navika, one good takeaway nationally for us is this: the sidelining of the PDP, which definitely among the valley parties is the more radical. The fact that here Mehbooba Mufti will be very hard pressed to even win her father's seat of Anantnag. Our numbers show that maybe she will end up losing even that seat, her traditional seat. And yes, the National Conference and the Congress are gaining, but the BJP holding on to the Jammu region and National Conference is holding on to the valley, and the PDP very, very definitively is being sidelined by people of Jammu and Kashmir.
And if I look at the parties separately, National Conference likely to get they're contesting 2 seats, Congress likely to get 1, and National Conference contesting 3 seats, likely to get 1 to 2 seats. So obviously in this, if we are talking about 2 to 3, National Conference will be the senior partner in this.
Navika, the BJP's forays have been very strategic. They have worked with the Pahadis, given them ST status for reservation. They worked with the JKAP so that the inhibition for a BJP candidate per se goes down in the valley. So it's a very strategic entry.
I agree actually with you, because I've also been speaking to people there. This high vote in the valley is to keep the proxies out. People were very clear. They are voting high numbers of voters to keep this. They may have got something from there is a huge, always a state presence in J&K. If you've covered there, you'd know that. So the high vote is to keep the proxy out.
Well, let's go to the next state. Jharkhand coming up. Jharkhand coming up on your screens, ladies and gentlemen. And Jharkhand, 14 seats in Jharkhand, 13 going to the BJP and its alliance partners, 1 to the Congress party and the JMM. That's what this alliance is all about. So out of 14, BJP, this is the mean number that we are looking at. BJP likely to get about 13 seats. And the India Alliance, 1 seat. That is the way Jharkhand is stacked for us. Let's take a look at the vote shares in Jharkhand.
I'm surprised at this.
58% for BJP and its alliance partners. Congress 35%, 7 to the others. So
which means they're increasing on their vote share and in their seat share, a gain of 1 seat and a gain of I think about 1 to 2% in terms of their vote share. And it's very interesting because they were saying after Hemant Soren's arrest, ek hawa chal rahi hai. There's a sympathy wave blowing for the Soren family.
This is bringing Babulal Marandi back. That's a master stroke by Narendra Modi.
Master stroke, the second master stroke, getting a tough seat like Singham with Geeta Koda back.
Exactly.
They got 2 core Sangh Parivar leaders back.
Interesting, Navika. This time around, this was a battle of the BJP had Sita and Geeta in their side. So there was a Sita Soren and a Geeta Koda, both of whom which they got from
well, the Geeta story also raises questions about the agencies and the alliance with the agencies. And joining us is Mr. Dinesh Sharma, former Deputy Chief Minister of UP, also Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament. Dinesh Sharma ji, झारखंड के जो रुझान आ रहे हैं, कम से कम इससे ये तो नहीं कोई कह सकता कि एजेंसीज के खिलाफ एक ग्राउंडस्वेल है, बिकॉज ये सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा था जो इंडिया अलायंस ने उठाया था कि मोदी सरकार के साथ सारी एजेंसियां विपक्ष को टारगेट कर रही हैं. झारखंड में अगर 13 सीटें एनडीए को जा रही हैं और 1 ही सीट इंडिया अलायंस को जा रही है, तो आप मानेंगे कि कम से कम ये नैरेटिव झारखंड में तो नहीं चला?
देखिए, एक बहुत बड़ा ये एक अचीवमेंट कहेंगे पार्टी के लिए भी, और एक बहुत बड़ा एक संदेश है पूरे देश के लिए भी कि भारत की जनता आज भी भ्रष्टाचार को नहीं बख्शती. और लोगों ने आरोप लगाया था कि जांच एजेंसियों के माध्यम से वो प्रताड़ित हो रहे हैं या इस प्रकार के आरोप लगाया था. लेकिन आज वास्तविकता ये दिखाई पड़ रही है कि जो निर्णय जांच एजेंसियों ने किया था वो निष्पक्षता के साथ किया था, और निष्पक्षता के साथ केवल निर्णय नहीं किया बल्कि ये दिखाया कि जनता ने उस पर अपनी सहमति प्रदान करी है. और अब मोदी जी का जो जादू था वो सिर पर चढ़कर बोला है झारखंड में भी, और अभी आप आगे की स्टेट देखेंगे उसमें भी पूरे देश में एक लोगों में एक रूपता थी विचारों में. जैसे लग रहा था कि सबने पहले से मिलकर एक डिसीजन ले लिया है कि हमको वोट किसको करना है. ये चुनाव भले ही कोई कुछ कहे, मेरा जहां तक अनुमान है कि ये जनता चुनाव स्वयं लड़ रही थी, और इसके नायक के रूप में श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी हर सीट पर चुनाव लड़ रहे थे. मैं बहुत सारे जगह पर मेरा जाना भी हुआ था चुनाव के पहले, और महाराष्ट्र में तो मैं प्रभारी था और काफी समय में रहा. मैं कह सकता हूं कि जो मोदी वेव था, अब की करंट नहीं, अब की अंडर करंट था, और अंडर करंट भी इस प्रकार का था कि जो सामने दिखता नहीं था. जो लाभार्थी थे, जो निष्पक्षता के भाव से जिनको एक कहीं ना कहीं परोक्ष रूप में मोदी सरकार के उससे राहत मिली थी, उनका एक अजीब सी सहानुभूति उनके प्रति थी. मैंने कई जगह पर चुनाव प्रभारी होने के नाते में सभाओं का जैसे ऑर्गेनाइज होती थी, तो हम लोग अगर 50,000 की संख्या को अनुमानित करते थे और प्रत्याशी को भी लगता था कि 50,000 भी बहुत है, लेकिन पता चलता था कि 1,80,000 लोग आ गए सभा में, तो उस चीज को देखकर मैं एक सहज भाव में अनुमान लगा सकता था कि ये जनता का अंडर करंट है. और इस अंडर करंट में जो मोदी तूफान चलेगा चुनाव के बाद, तो केवल एक ईवीएम बहाना रह जाएगा विपक्ष के पास, और कोई दूसरा बहाना नहीं रहेगा।
दिनेश शर्मा जी, क्योंकि आपने बात की, आप महाराष्ट्र के प्रभारी भी हैं,
चाहे
पूरे देश में आप कह रहे हैं कि जनता मोदी जी के लिए चुनाव लड़ रही है, पर क्या महाराष्ट्र में एक तरीके से जनता का ही जो फीलिंग है वो भाजपा के खिलाफ जा रहा है? बहुत सारे वहां पे नैरेटिव्स ये भी हैं कि जो मराठी जनता है खास तौर पर, वो भाजपा के खिलाफ हो गई है, वहां पे जो तोड़ फोड़ की राजनीति हुई है उसके चलते।
देखिए, मैं आपको स्पष्ट रूप में कहूंगा कि मैंने जनता का सर्वे, ये तो आपका सर्वे है, उसका स्वागत भी है, सम्मान भी है, लेकिन एक जनता का जो सर्वे मेरे पास में है, मैं कह सकता हूं कि जो पिछला हमारा अचीवमेंट था शिवसेना प्लस बीजेपी का, उस अचीवमेंट को हम प्राप्त करेंगे।
चलिए देखेंगे चुनाव, क्योंकि महाराष्ट्र के अभी हमारे पास रुझान आए नहीं है, लेकिन आप कह रहे हैं तो नंबर में वो दिखेगा कि नहीं, हम इंतजार करते हैं। आप हमारे साथ जुड़े, बहुत धन्यवाद। प्रतीक सोम जी जेजेपी से हैं और हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। प्रतीक सोम, 13 सीटें एनडीए अलायंस और 1 सीट इंडिया अलायंस, आपको लगता है यही कुछ हो रहा है झारखंड की जमीन पर?
Navika, I can only tell you about Haryana because my party has contested on all the 10 seats in Haryana, and the other party which has contested on 10 seats is BJP. Neither Congress, neither Aam Aadmi Party and nor INLD have contested on all the 10 seats. Per se, Indie Alliance in Haryana is an undemocratic alliance because in Haryana, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress are fighting together. And on our neighboring state in Punjab, they're fighting against each other.
What is the seat share that you are giving to every party? Because I'm going to take up Haryana seats. मैं आपका सरप्राइज टेस्ट ले रही हूं। आप कितनी सीटें दे रहे हैं?
So I am predicting one thing without numbering, that people of Haryana have rejected the politics of divide in Haryana, especially politics of divide on caste, and they have also rejected the Indie Alliance because, as I said, this is an undemocratic alliance against common ideology, because the parties which are contesting in Haryana,
how many seats to the BJP, how many to the Congress, how many to the JJP?
Navika, I can say that we have fought very strongly. We are very strong on Hisar.
Okay, all right. We're taking the Haryana numbers up on the screen here. We gave you several chances. Clearly, you're not very confident, but BJP likely to get 7 seats in Haryana out of the 10. Congress and its alliance partners 3 seats, others getting 0. Would be interesting to see how many does the Aam Aadmi Party get. Well, Aam Aadmi Party contested 1, gets 0. Congress contested 9, likely to get anything between 2 to 4, and BJP likely to get 6 to 8, which is 7 is the mean number that we've taken. Let's take a look at the vote shares, and the vote shares coming down a bit for the BJP, almost 48%. 10% vote share is down.
This is down from 58 to 48. It is similar to what the BJP got in 2014, which was 47%.
You know, Navika, and this largely I think we can see as an outcome of the farmer protest. You know, somebody who is from the Aam Aadmi Party told me कि हरियाणा में बेसिकली होता है कि आप जिस भी ट्रैक्टर के ऊपर जाट बैठा हो, यू कैन मेक श्योर कि उसके वो वोट पड़ेगा कांग्रेस को, बट उसके खिलाफ सारे वोट जाएंगे नॉन कांग्रेस पार्टीज को. सो the benefit that the Congress has had is all the Jats have consolidated, and this time Mr. Hooda got a free hand in the ticket selection as well. So the Jat seats have
consolidated.
Rohtak, for example, has 41%
to the Congress, and may I tell you that this is not something that has missed the eyes of the BJP. A senior leader that I spoke with actually said जाट नाराज थे, मुख्यमंत्री बदला, क्योंकि पंजाबी मुख्यमंत्री ऑलमोस्ट 9 इयर्स रहे थे, तो जाट को थोड़ा सा, जाट कास्ट के जो लोग हैं उनको थोड़ा सा लग रहा था कि बीजेपी एंटी जाट पार्टी हो गई है. और जब जाट नाराज होते हैं तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी नहीं अफेक्ट होती, गांव के गांव अफेक्ट हो जाते हैं. That's the saying he told me, and that is why they corrected. Do you think it will work for them?
Navika, can I make a point? You look at the numbers. in heavily anti-incumbency states and states that have never voted for the BJP, Kerala, Haryana, if the situation is thus that BJP can actually not just salvage but actually come up trumps in many areas, you're looking at me revising my statement from 300 to 330.
330?
Okay,
all right. I'm coming to you.
We need to understand that as much as Jats have moved away from BJP in Haryana, other castes, including Yadavs, SCs, Brahmins, everybody has polarized here. So we still do not know.
That's not true. Yes.
Navika, can I-
Non-Jat polarization.
Punjabis and Dalits.
Haryana, it's not as simple as you make it. But I think this is fair. But I think it'll be 6-4. But SC and Jats have gone together, and of course the in the Mewar.
Navika, here is the point.
But I don't.
SC will vote for Congress and Sirsa, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Kumari
So
Shailja will.
it's not black and white. Haryana is also very complicated.
Okay, I'm glad you're agreeing. 7.
No, 7.
You're saying 6.
6-4. But I am putting my money on the line. Khattar is in trouble. Karnal, Khattar may have a little difficulty, even if he does win. That may make it 5-5 because you all have given it to Khattar.
All
it's
right.
very tough for Khattar.
So let's hear what Sanjay Jha said.
Navika, this was a heavily anti-incumbency state. You would agree with that, right?
Let me tell you.
Despite that, if your BJP is holding majority of the seats, you have to say something about the larger picture.
Haryana, state government will be Congress. Mark my words. Whatever this happens.
We'll meet again. We built a large studio only to have you back here when the state election
Navika, can I make a point
right
on
now,
Haryana?
we're talking about the Lok Sabha election.
Can I make a short point on Haryana?
Yes, sir.
This is an exit poll. And if that is showing a significant decline for the BJP, I can tell you when the larger vote is counted, the number of seats for the Congress will go up, for the BJP will go down. It's a significant decline in trend. And that is an anti-BJP vote.
All right, let's wait and watch our poll. Our poll gives us. Well, let's take a look at Uttarakhand next. Uttarakhand coming in. Well, it's been 5 in the last 3 elections, and if this election also Uttarakhand 5 on 5 go to the BJP, it's a hat trick in Uttarakhand. बेटा पहाड़ों में तो तुम्हें कोई याद नहीं कर रहा.
But you know, this is despite Navika a very strong anger against the Agniveer. Agniveer is something that has
as stated by the Congress. Yeah, as stated.
On the ground, it wasn't like that at all.
No, but it has. Among the youth, I can tell you, in Haryana, in Bihar, in Uttarakhand, and in Himachal, there is definitely a chord that has been touched by
What's the vote share
Agniveer.
here?
Because no, they have held on. The vote share has actually increased.
Okay, let's look at the vote share. Let's look at the vote share here for Uttarakhand. 63%. 33% for the Congress, 4 to others. And let me tell you, 2014, 56% was the BJP's vote share. 2019, it went up 5% to 61. And then 2024, it's likely to go up to 63.
65 on the counting day.
Uttarakhand just answered Sanjay.
On counting day, it will be 65.
Okay, David.
I'm interested to know if Mr. Jha maintains his statement about the vote share nationally.
No, on Uttarakhand, frankly speaking, I don't think I had any different expectation.
Mr. Jha, in all fairness, no.
I say
But Navika,
1 minute, let him say. Let's not heckle him.
Uttarakhand has seen a highly polarized social situation.
But Mr. Jha, across the election campaign, you said Agniveer would be a big issue. Yes. If it had to be a national issue,
You see it play out in Himachal. We'll wait for Himachal and Rajasthan. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Wait for Himachal and Rajasthan.
You know, Tushar, I'll tell you a counter to this. The thing is that a lot of people that I spoke to who were upset with Agniveer, you know, in the first point they would say, Agniveer problem hai. In the same breath they would say, मोदी जी को इस पे विचार करना चाहिए. So they would not say कि भाई अग्निवीर राहुल गांधी को हम लाएंगे ताकि वो अग्निवीर ले जाएं. They would still say अग्निवीर में प्रॉब्लम है, but मोदी जी को पुनर्विचार करना चाहिए. So perhaps that answers your question. Yes. That your hope also is from the Prime Minister that he will come and solve this problem.
But this is something we've discussed since 2022. That if there is a problem in the country, be it a social problem, be it an economic problem, people trust this Prime Minister to solve it.
Issue. Absolutely.
Before we hit the break, we need to pick up one more hilly state, and that's Himachal Pradesh, where elections have just concluded. So these are straight from the oven, hot numbers coming your way, and these are numbers till about 6 o'clock that we have got. Latest numbers: BJP 3, Congress 1.
That's the seat of Mandi. I know my friend who lives there told me that is the one seat a month ago.
Vikramaditya Singh. Well, so 3-1, that's what this poll suggests, that 3-1. Is Kangana Ranaut not going to win? I don't know which seat this is. We'll have to wait and watch. Let's take a look at the vote shares as well. Vote shares, well, 53 to 69 in 2019, and this time it's down to about 61%. Congress Party's vote share has gone up from 27% to 34%.
So 34% and Congress is winning Mandi. So Congress has obviously got most of its vote from there. So how much has it actually gone up, really Mandi out? Because then the BJP has gone up further. It'll be in the 70s.
No. It was clear, yeah. People who live there.
61% is what they are saying. But remember, the Congress Party at the state level also not very stable.
Big picture. Farmer protest was not an issue in Haryana. Agniveer was not an issue in the hills.
Absolutely, because in Uttarakhand, 5 on 5, 3 on 4. Well, slipping into a short break. On the other side, more states coming up. The big states of Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh coming up your way. Short break, back soon.